Right, texturing. I'm going to continue. I'm going to go a little bit faster. This is basic texturing, right? Okay, when I have something like this, I can do multiple ways of projection, right? Okay, number one is, you see this hypershade, you see this button here, right? If you don't see this, go here, Windows, under rendering editor, hypershade. Okay, click on hypershade, see this blue button here. This is where all the materials will be displayed. Okay, clear? Alright, by default you will have Lambert 1. By default you will have all these three stuff you will definitely see. Empty workspace, you will definitely see this. Okay, so normally Lambert 1 by default, so that you can see this color on the viewport. Where do I click? You see this blue color button here? Yeah, the circle there, right? Like a eyeball. You just have to click that. If you don't get it, go to under Windows, rendering editor, and then go for hypershade. Okay, so shader is going to be a little tough. Okay, it's one of the hardest, but just bear with me. Okay, in shader here it's not as easy as it is, but I'll just go with the basic one first. Okay, first thing, when you open, you will see this is the library, okay, or browser you call it. Okay, all the shaders or materials, everything will be displayed here. Whatever you create will be displayed here, right? And then you have your textures, you have your utilities, all this later on. Okay, don't get confused with all this yet. Whatever camera that you see, viewports or any camera that you add, everything will also be displayed here. This is just a little bit of what it is in hypershade. Okay, the one that you're going to focus on is these two, materials and texture at the moment. Okay, okay, the moment you open, you will see a huge list on my eye here. See that? These two, everything will be listed massively. Okay, you'll get confused to choose what you want to choose, right? Because you are still new to this, you have to you have to understand what each shaders will do, what kind of materials that you want to apply, and so on and so forth. So for now, let's go for the super basic ones, which is the blend. Right? Just click on Maya. Don't go for Arnold yet. All right? Arnold is a new plugin that has been replaced. That has replaced Mentor Ray. Last time was Mentor Ray. Now it's Arnold. Arnold is a third-party plugin as well. Right? Embedded with this Maya. It's quite powerful though. You can get realistic rendering and so on and so forth with Arnold. But let's not talk about Arnold yet. We'll just talk about the basic shaders, which is the Maya shader. Right? You have surface, you have got volumetric, and so on and so forth. You click on Maya here, the big tab, you will see every single shaders listed in Maya by default. Right? What are the shaders that is available? But as you go in, if you don't want to see a lot of this, like for instance, like you got fluid, noise, all this substance output, and so on and so forth, it's confusing, right? There's so many lists, you don't know where to go. So I would strongly suggest you to just hit this on this surface. Okay? Here you will see blend, you will see layer texture, you will see other textures around. So you can just click on it and then play with it and see. Okay, now let's talk about blend. So when I click blend, okay, the moment I click once, it will straight away appear here on the editing box. Okay, whatever you see on your right hand side, which is now on this shader ball. Okay, this is what you call property editor. I mean, this is material viewer. You want to view it, how does it look before you apply, or you haven't applied yet, right? You're just creating first, right? How does it look on a model? You want to have it on a cloth, you can change it to a cloth. If you want to have it on an ocean, you can have an ocean. It depends what kind of model that you want to place it and just see it first. Okay, this is just the material. You want to see how does it look. Alright. So this one you can play around and see. Up to your preferences. How do you want it to look like? Your choice. Below here, the property editor is what you call, it is part of attribute editor. Okay. Anything property editing and so on and so forth, everything will go under attribute editor. Okay, in here a hypershade, because it's a window by itself. If you have two monitors, it is easier. You just take all this and put it on the whichever side that you want, whichever monitor that you want to work on, and make sure your workspace is big enough for you to work with. If you have dual monitor, sorry. Alright, that's why a lot of 3D modelers and all that, they don't work with laptops. They prefer to work with desktops. Alright. So anyways, that is later on you want to work with. Okay, the moment you see here, when you create something, it will appear here. This is the node base. This is the networking. All the networks is going on. So let's say I want to have like a color and so on and so forth. It will be linked around here. So before you get confused with all this networking, let's just go with the base. I'm just going to brief you first. Okay, in a material or shader, right, it will consist of common material properties and then what are the shading stuff that you want to have. Like for instance, if I click on Lambert, I don't get this specular. As I said before, if I click on the blend, I get my specular shading on it. Make sense? Okay, you play with it and see. Okay, we are going to just touch these two first. The others later on, not yet. Anisotropic, if you want for the metals, yes you can. They have their own metal on Arnold if you want to play with, or later. Okay, in here when you're talking about blend, see this blend and see this Lambert. Lambert no specular, blend quad specular and reflection. Okay, right, this color, if you want to change the color, just click on the color and then pick a color, add a color, basic color. All these checkers around here with the color black and white, right, you can just add in any color. Just drag and drop, okay, or just click on it. You want to drag it over, you want to pick other colors, yes you can, okay, or you can right click. You can't copy like how you have it on other softwares, not as easy as this, but what you can do is you can just click on this colors and so on and so forth. See that? Okay, the more colors you want to add, you can start adding colors. See, when it's 0 here, right, when it's 0 it becomes black, and it's black, it's colored, or white is not, it depends on what you want to add. Okay, this slider here is to make sure that the color is displayed in proper brightness and so on and so forth. Got it? Okay. Alright, this is just the basic color. Alright, transparency, the moment you have color, it will become very colorful. I mean, the moment you have any other color than black, it becomes transparent. Opacity is 0. You want to have like glasses and so on and so forth. The moment you have it like colored, it becomes opaque, especially white, black and white. You want to have tinted on it, just click on it and then add a color. See that? I tint this whole thing pinky, I get this transparency. Can I? So far? Yes, no? Anyone stuck? Okay, go back and play with this. This one is something that you want to play with. Right? Play with a box or any basic shape first. Okay. Specular color also can be tweaked. You can add different colors if you want to. See that? I want to have red color, I want to have blue color. I just have to go ahead and add different colors to make sure the specular color is different. See that? Right? If this dude is a bit too much, then you have to reduce it. Can? Okay, this is super basic. You want to have like reflections and so on and so forth. You can add textures to this. Okay, now these are basic common things that you want to adjust without texture. This is just the material setting. If you want to add a texture to it, now what you have to do is you have to click on this checker here, or the checkers here, and you have to look for a file. Okay, the moment you look, when you click on the file, it will open up this tab, adding texture. Right, just now when we played with the colors and so on and so forth, that one was the basic material, the shader by itself. Got it? Now texture is to enhance how it's going to look like, the color, what they call the details and so on and so forth that you want to add. Okay, now what you have to do is you open up the folder, click on the folder, look, of course you put all your textures in your folder, right? Make sure it is under the source images, right? Chuck everything inside there, the textures that you want to use. If you're not going to use it from there, maybe you have a specific folder, just go and look for a folder that it's easier for you to access. Don't just put it under download and then put it under E drive or F drive, and then suddenly when you want to compile it, you're going to cry. Why? Why is because when you send it to me, if I don't see your textures, I will minus your marks. Yes. So you're going to give me a briefcase where everything is inside there and easy for me to access. Not I go and change, I go and look for it. If I'm going to look for it, I will minus marks. Fair enough? Right? Because end of the day, I have to train you like this. As when you go to your industry and so on and so forth, when you're giving a package to the other comrades or your fellow friends who's going to work with your project, if you're ill that time, you don't want them to go and be crazy looking for your resources. Okay, fair enough? You want to make people's life easier as well as yours. Because when you're sick and somebody is calling you, hey look, where can I find your wood texture? And you're sick at home and your client needs it at that point of time. What are you going to do? You can't even talk, you have to come back. Does it make sense? Right? Don't get fired over this. Anyways, go to the folder where you keep all your images. Okay? Click each one of it and see which is the best textures that you can pick from. Okay? Let's say I like this, or I've got ample of textures here. So just choose which is the best possible textures that you want. Once you know how to model this, texture defines model, then you will have fun. Okay, so just hang in there for a bit. Say you like this texture, please name it. Like me, I didn't name it. So later on, if I'm going to do a particular project, I will definitely name convention. So you have to name a proper naming convention, not like this. QW blah 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 mampus only. Okay, so you click on this. There you go. Now I see the texture. Okay, it is still like super glossy and so on and so forth. I will click on this dude. Okay, now I will make sure this dude is black. I'll change this dude to whatever color that I want. I will reduce the specular color. I'll add a little bit and so on and so forth. See that? Now can you see the whole thing coming up? And then if I change it to a teapot, you get that. This is from 3ds Max, huh? This teapot. Jerks took it. Anyways, if I want to see it on a plane, I can see it on a plane. Yay! I want to see it on a cloth, I'll see it on a cloth. Whatever that is suitable enough for you guys. Alright? Up to you. So if you want to rotate this, you can just hold alternate and just rotate and see, hey, look, how does it look? Whee. Okay? And? Which folder? Click here on the checker. The checkers here at the side. Can you see the checkers here? Alright? Just click on it. Once you will see it will create a render node. When it says render node, you can either put a texture, you can put any of this, you can even play a movie inside here. Doesn't matter. Okay? You can bring in movie, you see, like, you know, like you have a television, you want to have a movie played on a television. Yes, you can do it. But it's just that too heavy lah. Okay? You can bring in a PSD file. Alright? You can play with it and see. Normally JPEG files is just on file. If you want to have like a RAM folder, you can have a RAM folder as well. Right? RAM, what does it do? Gradient. Right? Ramp. Okay? You can do a substance one, up to you. Whoever is doing with substance, you know, texturing, you can just do it here. Sorry? Just click on it and then you have to bring in the substance file. Right? And then you have other stuff that you can play around with. For now, just look for file. The moment you click file, you have to go and look for the texture. Okay? Say you don't want this, like for instance now I've added a texture. I want a texture, I went and click on the file and I don't want it anymore. So that's why you have to look at the working space around here and see under transparency, you delete this dude. Bye bye. Now click on the main one. This is the main one. See that? Blend. Okay. Everything will be come back to the original spot. Say if you have like multiple, how do you want to zoom in, zoom out? You just have to scroll your mouse, right? Zoom in, zoom out. Okay, whatever here is the input is going to your material. You understand? Whatever on your right hand side is the output that you want that material to be. So you can add more stuff on the output as well as the input. Input is like whatever textures and so on and so forth you want to add, you would add. Okay, that one we'll go later on, the more in depth. Okay, say you went and did this, you don't want this to be here. You don't be a hero, go and delete this. The moment you delete this, saw that the whole shader and the material is gone. Again, whatever you're choosing from here, you want to delete this, you press this, everything is deleted. Right? So if you create something, for instance like that, let it be there. If you don't want this to, you want this whole place to be clear, just go here, you see this button here, click on it, it will clear the working space. Right? Then every time you click on something, you just double click it, or you just have to drag and drop, okay, or here, and then click on this dude, see that, choose the shader, click on this dude, it will choose the shader. See this button here, the first few buttons around here, you click once, choose any of this, click once, it will choose the shader that is existing. Okay, you click this one, it will give you what is the output is going to look like. These are all networking, alright. If you want to explore on this, you can explore eventually. Those who's really interested in texturing later on, you can go in depth with this. If you can master this, I mean it's not easy, but if you can master this, you will be well appreciated. It will stand strong for your portfolio. Alright, not everyone is good with shaders. When it comes to shaders and texturing, welcome to the world of headache. Okay, because there's a lot of linking. If you know how to do all this linking, your image, which will be your super lowest poly, can be super expensive poly. A simple plane can look beautiful. I'll show you shortly what is it all about. Bear with me, there's a lot of information here. Okay, so remember this one, don't get too confused, right? If you are seeing all these links and all that, if you really don't want to touch this, it's fine. Okay, you can close eyes on this area, just look at this property. Easy? So if you go back here, I click this, I want to have like under this Lambert, I don't want to have anything. I click on this blend, Lambert 1 don't touch, remember, don't touch Lambert 1. Create a Lambert if you want to have a Lambert. Okay, I have an output, I just want to clear this. Okay, see that? I click on this, I'll get the image that I want to go and choose from. Okay, whichever that is suitable. Okay. All right, I'll choose this. Okay. Now if I want to have this, I want to come back, what do? Normally I can just click back all these buttons and so on and so forth. What I'll do is I'll just go back here and click on the shader material. Easier. I don't want to confuse myself. I don't want to have all this nonsense headaches of looking at all these networks and so on and so forth. Straight away I want to attach a file. I want to straight go back to the main window. Right? So very easy. Click on the shader, you go back straight to the shader. Done. Right? Then eventually you explore yourself to understand how you want to go within the other side. Okay. So once I have this, now how do I apply this? Or before even I apply this, I can reduce my specularity. It's too strong. Okay, I can reduce this. I can even reduce this. See that? To make it a little bit more expansive. Okay, I can rotate this. I've got bump map. Bump map is what I want to have, like everything bumped up. So we'll go for bump later on. Okay. So now once I create this, nothing has been selected or nothing has been done or been projected on, okay, on the viewport. Your mesh is still Lambert 1. So how do you want to apply this? You can do multiple ways. You can right click, assign material, existing material blend. Right click on the object, you can assign existing material, okay, or you can assign a brand new material.